Hello, this is Cherryville Mayor H.L. Beam, and I would like to talk to you today about the upcoming obligation bonds that will be on this November election ballot. Other city staff members will use film spotlights to address this bond package as well. David Day will be discussing the impact of the bond on the Main Street project and economic development. Public Works Director Brandon Abernathy will be discussing the technical side of the project and engineering. Finance Director Dixie Wall will be discussing the financial picture of the bond. Event Coordinator Mary Beth Tackett will be discussing the impact on the community and businesses throughout our city. Assistant Fire Chief Jason Walford will be discussing the needed fire flow, line size, residual, and flow. And finally, City Manager Jeff Cash will discuss the overview of the strategic plan and timelines. The first bond in the maximum amount of $3,300,000 plus interest is to pay capital costs of providing improvements and paying related costs and providing that additional taxes may be levied in an amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds, as adopted by our City Council on July the 13th, 2020 for downtown improvements. Now, this bond adoption will be necessary for our city to incentivize future businesses and housing projects to locate within our city. We have experienced problems with the current water and sewer infrastructure in our downtown area. We cannot expect to see future growth within our city if we cannot supply sufficient water pressure for sprinkler systems as well as adequate sewer systems for businesses and housing projects willing to establish residency in the downtown area. All of this is necessary to see our downtown area develop and escalate to a thriving community. Now, the second general obligation bond in the amount of $3,600,000 plus interest is to pay capital costs of providing water system improvements and paying related costs and providing that additional taxes be levied in an amount to pay the principal of and interest on the bond as adopted by our City Council on July 13, 2020. Now, our present water system infrastructure is in dire need of improvements. We have patched and band-aided this system for so long that we now have to pay the price for this neglect. I know almost everyone has experienced some type of water problems, whether it be the turbidity and dingy water to inadequate pressure or broken lines. My own street from the top of Spring Street to Hawthorne has seen 7 breaks within a period of less than 1 year. There are only 5 houses occupying this section of street. We must attack this infrastructure aggressively from the origin to the center and beyond if we are going to supply our citizens with clean water. It is necessary and imperative that we have the funds to begin to focus on a turnaround in our water system improvements. The third general obligation bond in the maximum amount of $1,800,000 plus interest is to pay capital costs of providing sanitary sewer improvements and paying related costs and providing that additional taxes may be levied in the amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds, as adopted by our City Council on July 13, 2020. Now, this bond will provide the necessary funds to address the infrastructure of our sewer system improvements. We face the same problems with our sewer system for the same reasons we have with our water systems. Neglect and lack of revenue has kept this infrastructure from the needed improvements for so many years. These funds will be a big step toward tackling the problems within and providing adequate infrastructure for our businesses and residencies. This current City Council and Mayor, as well as our City Manager and City staff, have seen the problems facing our neglected downtown area and decaying infrastructure in our water and sewer systems. We cannot expect our city to nurture and grow without major changes. We cannot ignore these problems any longer. Although a bond referendum is sometimes not a popular subject, this council has decided that these problems cannot continue to be ignored. And the only way to remedy these is to make a bold decision and ask our citizens to provide the needed funds to move forward with restoring the city's infrastructure. In conclusion, I urge all citizens to go to the polls and cast your ballot. My hope is that in doing so, you will strongly consider what is the best step needed to make our city better and greater for all of our current and future citizens. Thank you for your time and consideration for listening to comments from your mayor, city manager, and staff, and concerned citizens of our great city.
Hello, I'm Dixie Wall, Finance Director for the City of Cherryville, and I'm here to share with you today regarding the financial analysis of the proposed bond referendum coming up for vote in November. This year will be very exciting in that this fiscal year budget will be the budget that moves Cherryville forward. The downtown improvement project under consideration is largely focused on the renovation of the city's streetscape along with Main Street, including streets, sidewalks, landscape, and lighting, along with other community and pedestrian-related features. As for the funding of the project, the city previously passed a 6-cent tax rate adjustment, in which 4 cents will be dedicated to the future debt service payments and 2 cents for municipal operations. In addition, the city received a $1 million private donation to support the downtown project cost up front, reducing our need for additional debt while also allowing for the utilization of the funds over time towards debt service payments. The proposed water and sewer projects will help improve water volume, fire protection, and water quality. The major sewer project will repair the systems downtown and replace the pressure line needed to transmit wastewater to the city's treatment facility. The city previously passed a water and sewer facility charge increase along with the increase of a per gallon cost, which will be dedicated to the future debt service payments funding the water and sewer projects. I've had the pleasure of working with Davenport and Company on the financial analysis for the city, which will ensure that we are 100% on target with revenues to pay the debt that would need to be issued in order to fund these projects. And the city is committed to a long-term funding strategy for the projects and its associated debt service. Should you have any questions regarding the financing of the proposed bond referendum, please feel free to contact me at 704-435-1703 or by email dwall@cityofcherryville.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the polls.
Hello, I'm Mary Beth Tackett, Director of the Cherryville Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to speak to you today about the impact the passage of the proposed bond referendum coming up for vote in November would have on both current and future businesses throughout our community. Currently, most of our businesses are operating using a water and sewer infrastructure that is over 100 years old. These businesses deal with many daily inconveniences such as low water pressure, flooding, leaky pipes, discolored water, disruption to business hours, and water and sewer cutoffs due to maintenance. For our chamber board, our aged infrastructure also makes bringing new businesses to Cherryville that much harder. There have been many times in the past several years that new businesses have looked elsewhere to locate because of these water and sewer issues. You see, when a water or sewer line is damaged, it can cause you to lose functionality of critical areas in the business, including kitchen and restroom facilities. Additionally, in some instances, wastewater will then back up through the fixtures in these areas. Having a customer walk into a bathroom with a toilet or sink filled by wastewater is never a situation a business wants to have. Also, when sewer line damage occurs, business owners can be left with leakage from damaged pipes. Not only will this create water damage, it will also create bacteria-filled sewage to enter the business or the commercial property. When it comes to water and sewer lines, having damage to your business property is a situation every business owner will avoid at all costs. This type of damage will not only negatively affect the owner's building and business reputation, but also the health of the clients, customers, and employees. A new business comes to town to look for property to develop or an existing building to move into. These issues continuously come up and have stopped potential new businesses from coming to our city. If the bond referendum is passed, this will ensure our existing businesses and new businesses will know that Cherryville cares about their business's success, the well-being of their employees and their customers. This will serve as a critical catalyst for encouraging new businesses to plant their roots in Cherryville where life blossoms. Should you have any questions regarding the business and economic impact of the proposed bond referendum, please feel free to contact me at 704-435-3451 or by email at marybethtackett@cityofcherryville.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the polls.
First, thank you for your commitment to our community and for joining us for this video series regarding the proposed bond referendum coming up for vote in November. My name is Brandon Abernathy, and I'm the Public Works Director for our great city. In this video, I will be answering some of the questions you may have concerning upcoming bond referendum and provide the most current information regarding our city's aging infrastructure needs. First things first, the bond package consists of 3 parts. Each part plays a vital role in the needs of our city. Our city has committed to improvements for downtown, investing in upgrading the electrical distribution system, including putting all overhead lines underground, new lighting, and new services to the buildings. The city has also invested in the engineering plans for the water and sewer improvements for downtown, which will help with the water volume and quality, which in turn will improve fire flow, crucial for our future growth. These fire services will be explained in more detail in an upcoming video. The plans also include improvements for Main Street and the back alley surrounding Main Street. This bond, if passed in November, will pay for both the construction and engineering costs on these important efforts. The city is also planning to upgrade the water infrastructure on Highway 150 and Highway 279 to improve water volume and quality by replacing water lines that are over 80 years old. These projects also will be on the bond in November. These improvements will include the process of installing new larger water mains, the much needed backbone for future water system improvements. Upon completion, our system will be able to support years of growth and eliminate many of the water system issues we are currently experiencing. There will also be 2 sewer projects included in this bond referendum, which will help replace a critical sewer pressure main that is prone to leaking. Upgrading the existing sewer system in the downtown area will provide years of more reliable service to the businesses and customers. So, to summarize, the bond referendum that you will be voting on in November includes critical water projects which will replace water lines that are over 100 years old and are in dire need of replacement. This will not only improve water volume and quality, but without it, our downtown cannot progress and grow. The sewer problems previously described must be addressed now before they become more serious and more costly. This will be key to avoid major interruptions to service and possible damage to some of the new improvements during repairs. Should you have any questions regarding the water and sewer projects of the proposed bond referendum, please feel free to contact me at 704-435-1737 or by email at babernathy@cityofcherryville.com. Thank you for your time. Please come out and vote, and thank you again for support of our community and helping us make our great city an even better place to live.
Hello, I'm Jason Walford, Assistant Fire Chief for the City of Cherryville. In today's video, I will be sharing some of the specific fire service needs that will be supported by the passage of the proposed bond referendum coming up for vote in November, including water line sizes and required fire flows for downtown and commercial properties. The National Fire Protection Association defines the minimum required fire flow as the amount of water flow at a pressure of 20 psi and for a specified duration of time that is necessary to control a major fire in a specific structure. Putting this in simple terms, how much water will it take to extinguish a fire of any property? This same concept is used to install fire suppression systems such as a fire sprinkler system in a commercial property. A recent developer remodeled an existing downtown building and created apartments above the storefront below. In doing this, the developer had to bring the entire building up to code, which required installing a fire sprinkler system. The fire sprinkler system had to meet a certain gallons per minute water flow to meet the fire code. This is usually not a problem, but with our downtown water lines being so old, over 100 years old, this has reduced the inside diameter of the pipe, nearly causing the fire sprinkler system to fail code requirements. The minimum required water flow was met, but only with a couple gallons to spare. We normally never come this close and are usually 40 to 60 gallons per minute over the required fire flow. To put this in a better perspective, if this building caught fire, causing the sprinkler system to activate, this would only leave firefighters a few gallons per minute to assist the sprinkler system in extinguishing the fire. Keep in mind, old downtown areas like ours, where buildings are built side by side, usually experience fire spread to adjacent buildings due to the age, type of construction, and deterioration of firewalls over the years. Currently, we have to test the water lines and fire hydrants to find out how much water is available. We do this by performing a fire flow test of the nearest fire hydrants. With regular testing, we know the hydrants on Main Street usually provide between 800 and 900 gallons per minute. This does not meet the gallons per minute required for a fire with 100% involvement. However, we usually don't have building fires with 100% involvement. But in downtown areas, our likelihood for a fire to grow or spread is more likely to happen. The second procedure during a hydrant flow test is to measure the static, non-flowing water pressure. This is important because it lets firefighters know how to operate fire apparatus and hose lines during structure fires. Sufficient water pressure is critical to our operation. Without it, we would cavitate pumps, collapse water lines, have to rob the operating fire sprinkler system, and even pull water from water heaters, allowing fire to grow out of control. This is the point where water pipe size becomes a key factor. The water pipe that supplies the hydrants on Main Street are cast iron and were installed as 6-inch pipes with 100 years of buildup of scale, incrustation, and sedimentation that is inside these pipes. The inside of the pipe is actually only 3 to 4 inches in diameter, flowing 60% less water at a lower pressure. This issue of decreased and inadequate water flow and pressure in our downtown is a concern to the fire department because our downtown area is becoming more appealing. Downtown has brought in more business and now residential units above these businesses. This is a significant concern for life safety, which is our primary responsibility. Without an adequate water supply and pressure, we are simply unable to do our job. Should you have any questions regarding the fire service needs related to the proposed bond referendum, please feel free to contact me at 704-435-1730 or by email at jwofford@cityofcherryville.com.
Good day. I am Jeff Cash, serving as your city manager and fire chief. Approximately 2 years ago, I was appointed to city manager's position. One of the things I wanted to do was do a needs assessment of the items that the city needed most critical. I went about that with a strategic approach. First, I talked to our public works department and their crews who work on our lines. I talked to our city engineer. I talked to other engineers. I talked to people who in town, citizens, have problems and complaints with our water system. And then finally, I done focus groups. I met with about 6 or 7 different groups comprising of a couple hundred people, and they helped me identify what they felt the needs were. So they were, number 1, infrastructure and roads, number 2, jobs for our community, number 3, recreation, and number 4, restaurant choices. So with all that data and information, the City Council had 2 strategic planning sessions. Each January, this past year, we come up with the following mission statement, vision statement, and goals and objectives. For 2020 goals, here's number 1, enhance the current status of our infrastructure. Number 2, downtown revitalization and beautification. Number 3, enhance and promote the development that builds the character and quality of life of Cherryville. 4, implement and analyze operational proficiency strategies within the City of Cherryville operations. And number 5, develop strategies to enhance the image of the City of Cherryville and surrounding communities. On top of that, the council and staff come up with a mission statement, and our mission statement is provide exceptional service to our community that inspires life to blossom. We also developed a vision statement. The City of Cherryville will be a transparent model of excellence that upholds high ethical standards and nurtures opportunities for current and future generations to live, work, and play and conduct business while maintaining our small town character and heritage. So, we chose a bond referendum, number one, because the interest rates are so very low and it allows us a longer payback period. If the bonds would happen to fail, we would still have to do the project, but we would have to seek conventional financing, which interest rates are much higher and have a shorter payback period. So that's why we selected the bond referendum, and you'll have the opportunity to vote on November 3rd. If the bonds pass, we will sell the bonds. They will be issued. Money will be available probably to us after the first of the year in January. We will start the bid process of different contractors, select a contractor, and we could actually see construction start, if we're lucky, and depending on the weather, by early spring. So thank you. If you have questions, please feel free to call my office, Jeff Cash, City Manager, 704-214-1172. Have a good day and God bless.
Hello, I'm David Day, Downtown Director for the City of Cherryville. In today's video, I will be sharing some of the downtown development needs as it relates to the proposed bond referendum coming up in November. My day-to-day responsibilities include working with the Main Street Program and related committees to enhance our downtown district. I also work with the Mayor, City Manager, and City Council to encourage, enhance, and promote economic growth. Improvements needed to support these efforts include new Main Street landscape, updated sidewalks, and other projects such as storefront updates. These changes will assure our town keeps the historic feel we all know and love. It will make our downtown more inviting for visitors and more appealing for new businesses to locate here. Working with our merchants to enhance their facades will encourage more shopping and dining and draw more customers to their places of business. I will also be working with the local business owners to promote their unique products and services with economic development efforts throughout the state and local markets. One of the main reasons I accepted the position as Downtown Director is because I love this city, and I know many of the merchants personally, and they love our city. I know the future will be awesome and growth will happen. This growth will come if we have a vision, work hard, and implement that vision. This sustainable economic growth will make doing business in Cherryville easier and more inviting to other businesses who are considering opening here. The projects the city is asking for the citizens to vote on in November are a new water, new sewer, and upgraded downtown streetscape. We have heard for many years how we need new water and sewer lines in our downtown. We know without these needed updates, our city will be unavailable and unable to grow in new and innovative ways. Making use of the second floors of many of our buildings is now prohibited due to water pressure problems. We've all heard this, and we know that the safety is a critical factor for our downtown district. There are visions and plans already in motion to help our downtown grow. But having these basic requirements, such as reliable water and a sewage system, is a must. The Main Street Program and committees have a plan in place for our city which will make it more attractive to residents and visitors and assuring our downtown will be here for years to come. If you look at other cities our size and larger, the citizens supported and implemented all these projects and other improvements have strengthened their marketing ability and future growth. The Main Street Committee will meet with many people over the upcoming months regarding many economic growth opportunities. Potential businesses looking at our area will be pleased to know that our citizens were willing to recognize and respond to these issues as needed. Also, this will let our established merchants have the assurance our cities care for them and are willing to contribute to their financial health and of the city, and now and in the future. As others have or will say, we have lost some great opportunities for our downtown district due to these problematic issues. With these updates, we can move forward to new living spaces, office spaces, and many other opportunities for our businesses and community. we can support these efforts to assure Cherryville continues to be a place where life blossoms. Should you have any questions regarding the downtown development needs related to these proposed referendums, please feel free to contact me at 704-435-3451 or email me at dday@cityofcherryville.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the polls.